this with some quotes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, it was literally like that. I was writing that, and the uh, the extension was actually announced
Mm-hmm.
while I was writing
As you
that.
were writing it,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, oh, well, convenient.
Beautiful. I will embed that tweet
Yeah,
and call it. Yeah, exactly. I know how
yeah.
that goes.
Well, it was just like, so our $5 million goalie has turned into a $5 million guy who's sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me we have a Jack Campbell.
I think it's a little early to go there.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, you get my point. You get my point. Like
I
please
I
don't
feel like as long as
going
the
to get
train,
demoted and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, please no, because that's all the Avs need.
I feel like as long as the train is rolling, it's less likely they're going to make a significant change. I
Yeah.
think if there's a dip, like we did see Wedgwood have a little dip a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
I think that needs to happen for the door to open again.
But
But
he recovered nicely.
yes, he did. Yeah, he's been great over the last week or so. I think the
Yeah.
extension is it could be a topic of its own because the implications of that are kind of interesting.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe we
that's
should go
why-
on to that next.
Well, that's I want to follow up with you first, Brandon, because I think this question leads us to that conversation as well, which is from what you've seen so far from both of their careers, Blackwood and Wedgwood, who has the higher ceiling and who has the lower floor? Because I think when you go into the playoffs, those are the two things to consider. You don't necessarily go with the player that has the highest ceiling just because of that. You also have to contemplate how bad it could possibly get.
Well, you also have to look at who's injured more.
Yeah.
And Blackwood tends to be. Am I correct on that? Because it seems like that was his problem in New Jersey. That was his problem.
I mean, I think you could obviously make that argument here in his time in Colorado. I think that's definitely true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to investigate that. I think he just kind of wasn't quite mentally ready for all what came in New Jersey.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
fair.
he didn't have physical injuries.
Mental injuries? No.
I'm leaving that door open. I don't know, but he definitely wasn't
on the shelf.
Yeah.
He wasn't on the shelf a lot. He just wasn't playing well. And then he got shipped to San Jose and did end up playing pretty well, and did not, he only spent, I think, half a season or maybe a season and a half there, but he didn't miss games. He just, this is his first like major surgery as far as I know.
Okay. I thought I remember seeing something that he had missed time due to like a knee injury or something like that in New Jersey, and this was not a first time thing.
I might be mistaken.
Gotcha. Okay.
You hear the difference in the way that Blackwood and Wedgwood talk. And the way they analyze their own games, and it sounds like Wedgwood has a lot more experience about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've heard analysts even say, you've heard Riker say, you've heard TNT analysts all say, it's like, are you coming for my job? Because they'll ask him to break down a simple goal, and he goes into a 2-minute, 3-minute ramble about how one shot got past him and what he could have done right or what he could have done wrong. And you don't hear that kind of stuff from Mackenzie Blackwood. He just seems to make it simple, which is what you should do. But Wedgwood knows what everyone is doing.
Mm-hmm.
At least he can put it verbally at least.
Sure. Well, they even had him on the altitude broadcast like mid action, which I hate, by the way. I think that works really well in football and stuff, but it doesn't work as well with a game like hockey. And you could tell that Wedgwood was even annoyed because he was like trying to watch, and he was like, okay, guys, sounds good. You guys have a great, but simultaneously he did a great job. And it was exactly like you describe of him, like saying, "Oh yeah, well that's a tougher save for Blackwood there because you lose sight and yada." Like he did a really good job of breaking down one of the goals again. So you're totally right. Evan, it's been a while. We missed you, buddy. Congrats on your first ding of the season last week. You weren't here to be anointed with that victory, but here you are today. I'm curious how you feel about this whole Scott Wedgwood, Mackenzie Blackwood. First of all, it's a great problem to have, obviously, if you're the Colorado Avalanche. But secondly, like, when does it become a not so good problem? When does it become awkward in the room, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's a good problem to have. As for the second part of that question, I don't know if it really can be.
Yeah.
And I guess I say that because of, I guess, recent, we all hear about the Georgiev situation and how he wasn't the best culture in the room, all those sorts of things. But you also didn't have Gabriel Landeskog in the room that's holding the glue together with everybody, right? I think that's a big part of, the situation. Wedgwood is not only a really good goaltender, but also just a really good human by the sounds of it. Mm-hmm. So that's great. You love to see that, right? And like if Landeskog and Wedgwood or, Blackwood, if there's some sort of kerfuffle, I guess, for lack of a better term, like that feels like something that can be fixed easily and addressed easily. Like I'm not too concerned about that. It's a great problem to have if you are 1 and 2, or sorry, not 1 and 2, but 1A and 1B, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's a similar situation to Kemper and Francois, which is, I think it's going down that line already. That feels good with me. I don't see how it would become an issue, at least for me personally.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that you bring up with Landeskog. And also, like, at the end of the day, it's going to be about winning. So I think if I answered my own question, the only time it gets awkward is if, like, one guy is clearly losing more and having a way, and really the only guy who can make it awkward in terms of that is Blackwood. Like if Blackwood does kind of come back to being the regular starter and then has a really bad couple of few games, and we go back to Wedgwood and he tears it up for a couple more, back to Blackwood, and then it's still not kind of fixed, then I do think it gets awkward because of the fact that it comes down to winning. So the guys are going to want the person between the pipes who gives them the best chance to win. And that everyone has their own opinion on that, to include players on any given team. So it's going to be a fun thing to watch. But Evan, I have another question for you. And this will be a good segue into the next segment, which is our Player of the Week segment. You nominated Martin Necas. And obviously I have my reasons and think that's a great nomination. But tell me why you nominated him for this week's Player of the Week.
Necas just had a nice week. If I'm being honest, let me go back and let me pull up his stats real quick, because he did have a very good week. I know it was a 3-point game against Anaheim or Buffalo, something like that. One of the games earlier this week that he had a very good game. He's got points, I think, in his last 4 or 5 games. Yeah. So he's on a 5-game point streak. He had 4 points against Buffalo. 4-game point streak. And in those 4 games, he has 7 points dating back to last week. So he's had a very good week. Really like what I'm seeing out of him still. And I know that there were questions about whether or not he would keep pushing on and keep being a good, player going forward after signing a new long-term hefty contract, and he's done that. So I'm impressed with what I like so far. I like what I see. I hope he keeps it up because it's a really good, big part as to why the Avalanche are on a hot streak, really.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the play where he passed up what looked like a good empty net chance to get the puck back to Landeskog, who, by the way, did have another goal disallowed last week? That's a great play to see. In the interview after, did you hear what he said there?
Yeah. What did he say? He said something along the lines of, like, I got to pass it to my captain, like whenever he's open or something like that, right?
Pretty much. He said, if the captain's open, you pass it to him. And I love that because especially from like the big name guy that you just re-signed, because he already gets it. He understands like the power dynamic. And I think that the Spit and Chicklets guys have talked about this a little bit, and I've heard DNVR do it as well. But Landeskog's presence is so good for, I think, really the upper echelon in terms of talent and power balance with this team. Nathan MacKinnon in particular. And I think The reason being is he doesn't have to do the parenting stuff. That's kind of what Gabe does. Nate can kind of side eye you while you eat spaghetti, according to Sam Alinsky. But yeah, there you go, Evan. Evan is also eating spaghetti, and Brendan is McKinnon side eyeing him. But you know, it's good for a guy like Nathan McKinnon to be able to just focus on performing. And I think that has seeped its way into different parts of this lineup to include a guy like Martin Necas. So it is really exciting. The other nominations we got for Player of the Week were Brock Nelson, who got 12% of the vote when I looked about an hour ago. So it maybe changed just a little bit. I doubt it. The vote was pretty much in. Taylor McCarr was a nomination, and he got 9% of the vote, which is a little more than I honestly anticipated. I thought he'd get probably like less than 5%. And then Marty Necas did, in fact, get 19% of the vote, with Scott Wedgwood winning our Mile High Hockey Player of the Week with 62% of the vote. And we've already done a great job of expressing ourselves as far as how good Scott Wedgwood has been. But in particular, he was excellent against the Islanders, making some crazy saves. That shoulder save he made on a kind of an off angle chance where he just kind of man, like that's the stuff you do in the basement when your brother's shooting a sock at you and you feel like you're on under the real lights and you fall in love with hockey. Like, to see those sort of saves, it's just so, I guess it's just so accessible to me. It makes me feel like he's playing the same game that I played as a kid, and that is a really cool thing to watch. So we'll keep an eye on that. But congratulations to Scott Wedgwood, our Player of the Week this week. I want to move on to next week's games, if you guys don't mind, and start taking a look at the Rangers, Predators, and Blackhawks, which are coming up. Folks, while I have your attention, please head on over to the website, milehighhockey.com, where you can find all of our written material to include previews, recaps, opinion pieces. I'm going to be putting out a poster in the next few days with a little help from Jackie, so be on the lookout for that. And a part of that, Jackie, that poster, is getting a little bit of a feel for kind of where we're at this season. And I'm curious about, if I sent this same poll out for the Rangers, like, what is the read on this Rangers squad? They're basically a 500 team with 5 wins and 5 losses, with some of those losses coming as the OT variety. Are they just kind of lacking an identity like we kind of teased last week?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think culture is another thing we talked about last week. But then if you look at it, they won 7 of their last 10. Everybody still has a chance in the East, and Shesterkin's playing better again. So I think when you have an elite goaltender and he's playing well, that definitely raises the ceiling for your season. So I think they're okay. I think perception is more that they've fallen off. I think the reality is that they're just sort of in the middle. They're definitely not what they were, but I think it's easy to write off teams like that, and they always bounce back. Like, we're kind of seeing it from the Bruins as well.
Yeah.
So of the 3 teams we're going to talk about, in theory, the Rangers are the toughest test. I don't really think any of these teams are going to really be a test for the Avs, but the Chicago game does get a little weird, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
So if you look at the Rangers, Panarin always plays well. Seems like they're just going to let him walk unless they really bottom out. I don't think they're really going to bottom out. Like I said, if Shesterkin's playing well, I don't think they're going to bottom out. So they're going to have to make a decision there. Are they willing to let him walk? Or are they going to trade him, even if maybe they're a playoff team? But yeah, they lost a lot of talent. I don't know why they think the answer was bringing in JT Miller. Like, we know he's kind of a culture problem himself. I don't know. They're just one of those sort of, in a way, legacy teams, kind of getting by on their reputation, but they also make good on most of it. So they're competitive. I guess you could say that. They're a competitive team. I think, like I said, people want to write them off a little bit more than I think probably deserve. Like, their analytics are okay, not bad. There's nothing really in there that's really glaring to say like what they are or they aren't. They're just okay. They're fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sounds like a 500 team to me. And I said 5-5, but it's actually 10 regulation wins and 10 losses, OT or otherwise. I believe they have 8 regulation losses and 2 overtime losses. But I read it just like you. In theory, they should get better as the season wears on because Shesterkin should kind of find his groove. I know last year was like a weird year with his contract pending and everything. And so I think that's a good read on the Rangers. But Ezra, the Predators also an anomaly and kind of have been since last. What's up, Brendan?
Notes on the Rangers is, first off, 9 out of 10 their 10 wins have come on the road.
Oh, interesting. That
yes,
is
but
good to know.
they're not winning at home. They hate MSG for some reason.
It's such a cool place. Wonder why.
Well,
well, the people inside of it it's debatable, I guess.
yeah, that's debatable. And and then second of all, I don't know if anyone saw the Detroit game and the New York game.
Oh yeah, gross jersey combination, by the way.
Perfect.
So gross.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No,
gross in a great way.
Yeah, I was gonna say not gross. Perfect. So, but I needed to just add that. Anyways, Ezra.
That's fine. No, yeah, Ezra will continue on the kind of same route there with the Predators, who are still underperforming kind of since last season. This still feels kind of true for the Rangers. But on the other hand, as Jackie pointed towards, the Blackhawks feel like they're the one of those three who really turned the page as they sit tied with the Jets for 4th place in the Central. What has been the catalyst for Chicago? Is it really as simple as Connor Bedard is shooting more?
I mean, I think that's a big part of it, but it's not just him. They've had a number of young players seem to take a step. I mean, Frank Nazar has been great. I think that's huge. And honestly, they rather than just kind of packaging young players who really don't know what they're doing yet and older players who really can't seem to do what they are used to know how to do, they have a little bit more in the middle now with this roster as the young players get a little bit older and some of the less helpful veterans have been moved out. Taylor Hall, but I mean Taylor Hall's useful on the Hurricanes, but he just was not playing for Chicago. He was on the shelf. So I think that's part of it. But then the other factor is you do have to just look at goaltending, and they're getting goaltending. I mean, they hadn't been getting any goaltending for the last couple of years, which happens when you have a young team in front of youngish goalies or oldish goalies. In the case of Marc-Andre Fleury, like those goalies are less likely to be able to make a big difference in a game because in a situation where they're getting peppered by uncontested shots or backdoor plays that are getting through because young players aren't defending correctly. So they've got a combination of emerging goalies and emerging forwards. And somebody mentioned in our chat here, Korchinski, who, I haven't watched too much of the Blackhawks, but I was high on Korchinski when he was coming into the league. So it's exciting to hear that he's moving forward. So thank you for that, Anthony Pacino.
I was going to say their other young defenseman, Levushinov, or however you say his name.
Levshinov.
I think he's the young one. I noticed he has 10 points, so he's contributing. And then our old friend Andrei Burakovsky is one of those more helpful veterans, as were mentioned. I want to say Jackie. About the Blackhawks, I also noticed they're getting great goaltending from Spencer Knight, so at least that's a younger guy with talent, so that could be something a little bit more legitimate. One anomaly I thought was funny, I looked at all 3 of these teams, was the Blackhawks analytically not so good. So you do wonder if there's going to be a little bit of a dip coming. But the strange anomaly is they create nothing on the power play, yet they're shooting 20% on it. So that's where they're getting their scoring. So I'm
every 5 chances on the power play, it's going in.
to see what that looks like. That they're creating like the worst in the league per 60, but they're shooting 20% on it. So
okay, so give up 3 power plays and give up 3 shots, and you should be fine. Give up 3 power plays and give up 15 shots, you're going to give up 3, and that's just math. Just saying, that's how it's going to go.
And then I'll just say about Nashville really quick. They kind of have the opposite problem. They have horrific goaltending this year. Saros is doing terrible. Don't look up Annunin's stats. If you still like Annunin, don't look up his stats. they're analytically they're okay. They should be doing a little bit better than they are. The goaltending's really killing them. They have trouble scoring. I think Barry Trotz has created a culture problem there. I mean, the guy they refused to sign is on their top line and is like third on their team in scoring, Evangelista. And it's like, when you make that big of a deal to sign a guy that's that important for you, it's a bad look. And
Yeah.
and I think that maybe they picked the wrong veterans, but it's just, I think culturally something's amiss there too.
It's
And
so
stop the puck.
strange. Yeah. Well, it's so strange because you described that, and Saros was one of the better goalies in the league a few years ago, by most people's accounts. Evan, I mean, both you and I, heading into last season, pegged the Predators as didn't feel very sneaky when you looked at their roster and the addition of Barry Trotz, as a sneaky Central Division winner. Obviously, that hasn't happened, even though they acquired all of that talent. In your mind, is there any hope in Nashville? What would that look like? And then I want you to touch on the Rangers in Chicago as well.
Yeah, like many of my predictions, that one blew up in my face big time. So not great. Nashville, man, like I don't know what they got to do. I know
Get rid of
Jess,
Juice
another
and
My
Juice.
High Hockey writer, huh?
Get rid of Juice and Juice.
Well,
The
yeah.
double juice.
Jess, another Mile High Hockey writer I know, was suggesting in like our main hockey group chat yesterday about somehow getting McDavid there, and I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't even know he would do anything, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Nashville's a whole mess. As for the Rangers, they hopefully should win that one. That might be the hardest game on paper, kind of like we said. But man, the Blackhawks, they're just always sneaky. It's just always sneaky against the Avalanche. I believe they're in Chicago, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's a road
So
trip.
yeah, so in Chicago, like there's always some voodoo crazy stuff that happens at the United Center for some reason against the Avalanche. So it might be one of those, trap games, right? Don't use the T word. It could be, especially if the Avalanche win the next two games, against the Rangers and the Predators. Then you're looking at that one. I feel like could be a circled loss, maybe just knowing how it all works out. And
Yeah,
then
it is the second
as fans will go crazy about it, and they're going to say, "Oh, fire Bednar, whatever." But chill out.
Yeah. Guys, we still haven't even seen the second regulation loss. Like, that is mind-blowing. That's actually mind-blowing.
It's not good enough, Adrian.
In November 18th, and we still have not seen a second regulation loss. We've only seen 3 regulation losses from the Eagles. And life is good right now.
Around here. Yeah, if you're a Colorado sports fan, I know the Nuggets lost last night to the Bulls, which was very surprising. But otherwise, I think the Colorado sports teams that are currently playing were on like a 22 or 21 game winning streak up until the Nuggets lost last night. And I know this is a hockey podcast, but when the Broncos beat the Chiefs, I have to mention it. And it has to be documented that I mention it.
Well,
I was parading through
Mahomes didn't have the refs in his pocket, apparently.
Yeah. Did you see that ref straight truck Sean Payton though?
No, it was funny because on the podcast What Chaos, they flat out mentioned how passionate Avs fans are and how passionate like Denver fans are in general because of broadcasters like the Altitude Crew. Jackie exactly knows what I mean. So if I'm never encouraging anyone to listen to another podcast, but yesterday's episode, everyone needs to listen to like the first 5 minutes and you'll see exactly what I mean.
Well, you can watch as many podcasts as you like, folks. Just make sure this is one of them.
You have to listen to ours. You must listen to ours.
Well, yeah, let's get back on the hockey train, although I don't hate veering off into Broncos beating Chiefs land for just a second. But I do want to talk about some of the polls that we sent out on the X account today and I believe yesterday, Jackie, just because I think they're great questions and ones that we should answer ourselves. The first of which is how many points will the Avalanche earn this season?
I think it was
Or,
when the
excuse me,
question was wins.
Wins,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. Wins with 60 or more, 55 to 59, 50 to 54, or 49 or fewer as the option. 55 to 59 wins has taken the cake with 46.3. I'm not surprised that 35% of fans are bullish and think that the Avs can win 60 or more. But that's the question I want to pose. Jackie, I'll start with you. I know we kind of asked this question to start the show with the win rate, but what was your answer to this poll and why?
The third answer, the 50 to 54, I
54.
think it was. Well, I mean, people are going to think 49 sounds terrible. That's what they had last year. So,
Yeah.
If they even got 49 wins, that's not terrible. Obviously with the start they've had, but part of it is also because they haven't lost in regulation, so it's also the loser points and not necessarily like winning every single game. So I'm just saying they might not quite have the exact win total you would expect. The other thing is what I mentioned when Boston set the record where they had 64 wins, I think. So even approaching 60 is quite a feat. So this is all why I say I picked the third option between 50 to 54 because it would be an improvement over last year. Like I said, the Olympics and having nothing to play for, you might see a dip later in this season that really doesn't mean anything. So that's all kind of why I chose that.
I think that makes sense. Does anybody else think otherwise?
I think Jackie pretty much nailed it. I think I was going to say 50 to, I haven't seen this poll, so I would have said probably 50 to 54 too. I mean, 49 wins is a great season too. Like that's phenomenal, right? You're winning over 50% of your games on a path to a playoff push. So that's great. 50 to 54, I feel like is probably the sweet spot for the Avalanche. I don't remember what Winnipeg and Dallas's wins were last year, but I imagine that they were somewhere along those lines of the 50 to 54, 55 range.
Probably. It's pretty hard to get above 55.
Yeah, like
the Jets had
like
56. Jets had 56 and the Stars had 50.
50. So like the Avalanche, I think that sweet spot is 50 to 55, and I think I don't want to be too like doomer over here, but there is going to be a crash at some time by the Avalanche. Like it's just bound.
Don't you say that?
Like there's as much as I would love to go, whatever it's going to be, 75 and 10, 8 or whatever. It's not going to happen. So there is going to be a fall back to earth. Just prepare yourselves, everybody. So like I think that will sort of temper expectations a little bit.
I think there was a decent spread. I think there was a decent spread in the answer. Actually think the winner was the second option, 50.
Yes,
55 to 60.
55 to 59. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, which would be nice.
Probably what I would have chosen. I didn't see it, so I didn't vote. But that's probably what I would have chosen, just because. I mean, it is definitely true that the overtime losses that get us a point are a big factor in the Avs' current record. But also, like, they lost their first 5 overtime games, and it's just unlikely for the trend to continue. So I would think you'd see some more wins coming in the future in overtime games, which do count towards the win total. And I mean, if they keep playing like this, and I have to come clean on something. I was wrong about Blackwood earlier. I think that's why my internet crashed, because the combination of being wrong and trying to look up the right answer at the same time. He did have ankle surgery in New Jersey, and then he missed some games for an MCL later in his career as well. But according to the article I read, he thinks he learned how to manage injuries better from all that. So who knows? Anyway, but anyway, I mean, I think if Blackwood starts winning games too on top of Wedgwood, then I think that 59 cap feels like the right area rather than. I wouldn't expect any team to win over 60, but I think they can get past 55 if they get both goalies going.
Yeah, that's another interesting thing is like if they do win 55 to 59 games, what's the spread between the goalies? Like, is that 20 wins for Scott Wedgwood and 39 wins for Blackwood. Ed Brennan's getting a call from God right now. God's checking
I
in.
think
with him.
Wedgwood already have over 10 though. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
what I'm
does.
saying. Like he could end up being the one with 30 wins, and Blackwood end up with 20 some. But Blackwood might be the starter on round 1, game 1. So it's just going to be such a fun year to gauge kind of how everything sorts out. I'm like, they'll never lose again. Whatever. I don't care. Just don't. It's fine. I know the law of averages. Sure. Whatever. Maybe there's a new average. Just say it.
I
Can't
think
be this
another
good.
big factor is if after the Olympic break they want to push for the division title or they want to gear up for the playoffs, because those are two really different ways to approach the last couple of games, the last 20 or so games. I assume by the Olympic break they'll be firmly in a playoff spot. So if they were to take the foot off the gas and just get healthy, that would change things, obviously. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, and Vaguely says, I heard on Puck Soup podcast about goalies who don't get training camps need a lot of runway to get back into shape. That's true.
Wait, is
And
Vaguely
especially
cheating
true.
on us?
I don't know. Maybe, possibly, probably. That's how this
I think
works. Like I
Vaguely's
said,
in every
watch
hockey
them all.
podcast.
Watch all the Yeah, Vaguely's following the rules. Watch all the podcasts, including ours. Congratulations, Vaguely, you're doing it.
I'm a Puck Soup listener. I hear you.
Yeah, I like Puck Soup as well. And actually, when we mention other podcasts on the show, that's how we end up getting those little things on the bottom that says other listeners also listen to this. So when we mention those great hockey podcasts, they'll end up on our feed as well. So it's a good
isn't
thing.
AI fantastic?
Isn't it wonderful? Yes.
There are no downsides.
Not even one. That's right. Oh, that's funny. But the next question I have is kind of like it covers two of the polls that I sent out. We talked already about Bardakov probably being the odd man out in the event that LOC and now Nichushkin returned to the lineup. But with Nichushkin out, we saw another installment of Taylor McCarr and Cale McCarr joining the ice together. So one of the poll questions was who will be the next call-up. And Taylor McCarr is in there. Tristan Nilsson is in there, as well as Danil Gushkin and some others. Gushin, excuse me. Some others who did not comment who the other person was, but that's fine. So the answer by an overwhelming margin, well, I guess not too overwhelming, 46.5% went to Taylor McCarr, but Gushin got quite a few votes. Does anybody want to touch on him and why they think that might be?
So first off, the rule is that you have to report to the team, to the in our case, the Eagles, physically when you are sent down, and you have to play at least one game before you are recalled back up. So since the Avs play before the Eagles play again, Taylor McCarr is out for the next game, at least.
Gotcha.
So it would, and then Gushin is injured currently, so that narrows that down even more. So more than likely, my guess, it would be Nielsen,
who got the lowest percentage of the vote, by the way.
Well, that's because they don't.
This was also
everyone doesn't know anything.
That this was before the previous game,
before Taylor McCarr went into the lineup. It was before,
so the correct answer was McCarr because it was asked before that. So,
okay.
So if it was posed right now, I agree with Brennan that we can't put McCarr in there because he's not eligible. We shouldn't put Gooch in there because he's hurt. So now it does become an interesting question. Is it Nielsen because he's the third most likely left, or are they going to look in a different direction?
Yeah, and so
Curtis McDermott.
He's TJ Tynan. Come on down.
Well, no, TJ Tynan.
Anybody but Tynan.
Tynan has no goals right now. He leads. He is third in the. Okay, first off, if you read my article today, that was on Mile High Hockey, Evan. He is third in the league, but it is all assists.
Yeah, which by the way, he earned you an X. Because a buzzer because he didn't score
exactly, and we didn't sweep Tucson. So yeah, I was very upset that night.
You were over.
So yeah, the Avs played Taylor McCarr 3 minutes. Like that is beyond pointless.
and he had no shots on goal, which is understandable. But
yes,
don't tell Mosier
that expected 3 minutes. So I don't even know. Like, honestly, I don't even know what I would want. I guess what I would want to see Ivan. He got an assist in the
Yeah.
game. Makar did not. So he
Yeah.
should have had 2 assists, really. He won a face-off that led to a goal. But, I mean, I'd like to see Ivan. If it's not Ivan, I really don't care as long as it's not Tynan.
And Ivan has been playing better.
I
Like,
think
that's
he's
good.
played
Lately.
good.
Yeah.
I've seen multiple games. I think he's hustling, he's forechecking, he's making plays. If they're holding against him because he's not on power play 1 and not scoring the cheap points, whatever. But I mean, he's a better player than Taylor Makar right now.
Well, he's also been getting praise from Testy on his play anyways. And been told that flat out to that because he's setting his bar ever higher every game, that's what he's going to be held to.
But okay, then the others don't have a bar. Like,
well, no,
I guess we'll see.
game,
We'll see
every
what
game, every
we'll see
game,
what the answer is.
you know, that bar goes up for everyone. But currently, here's the list as of the last game for the Eagles is Gushin's out for the lower body. We don't know what the timeline is. Steinberg's out with a lower body, his 3 weeks. Gay's out with the lower body, that's 4 to 6 weeks. Bradley's out with a lower body, that's 4 to 6 weeks. And McDonald is out with his hip, that's month to month. And we're still waiting on Prishpatov.
And this is normal for the AHL, by the way.
Yeah. But I did get feedback from Prishpatov that he is skating and he is very close to not having being in a full contact sweater.
Which is good.
Okay.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him play again. It's just like
I think everyone is.
what, but then what does he have to do to actually? What the point is? What does he have to do to actually have it be meaningful again?
Yeah,
that's going to be the question.
Well, speaking of injuries, we also kind of heard that Logan is not quite as close to returning as we thought. Logan O'Connor, that he has some quote soft tissue maintenance to do that's not related to his hip injuries. That's kind of delayed his return.
I did write on that too.
I assume that means he's just going too ham in his build up back to returning and maybe needs to rest up a little bit in the meantime. But Jackie, you called it. Sam Girard came back probably earlier than most people thought he would. And we're still kind of waiting to see Logan O'Connor return to the lineup. So folks, we'll keep you updated if we get any news on that. Vaguely says, hell, give me Ty Felber.
Felly he was last year's toy, but he's last year's toy.
Well, Felly had 2 goals against Tucson in game 1 and actually was playing really well. He was finishing a lot of his plays, so it made a huge difference on the way he was playing.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see if they look to last year's toys because newer is always better, right?
Yeah,
like we're in the holiday season. The new toys are the ones that get used.
This is right about the time.
Felly before the game, I put a bet on him that he needed to score goals, and he went and scored 2.
But you didn't put your bold prediction on him.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, but the fact that I told him that.
Yeah.
And the last time he went 14 games without a goal, and then I went and told him that I put a bet on him, and he went and scored a goal.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it. Do that with Nathan McKinnon. I'm just saying.
I don't think Nathan McKinnon has a problem with that.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, let us now then get into the bold predictions that we had last week, and then we will run our sponsor and get this week's as well. I will start with Evan. You were absent. So in the very nature of not arriving, I apologize, but I'm going to have to give you a buzzer just because you weren't here. This is the
come on.
I wasn't here buzzer. Jackie,
sorry, I was working a basketball game. Man,
how dare you have a job in life?
Now I know next time when I'm sitting at the scorer's table, I'll put my phone over here while I'm calling
when someone gets subbed and you hear that, just think of that as the buzzer that you're getting in real time. But
that
Jackie
horn still scares me all the time.
Every time. I'm the same way. Yeah. Jackie, you had Makar scoring a power play goal. I just want a goal in general at this point.
It still hasn't happened yet. I cannot
Yeah.
believe that Makar has not scored on the power play yet.
But you did say that Sam Girard would return and have a point, and that did indeed happen. So congratulations.
Woohoo.
You've earned
Thanks,
yet another
Sammy.
ding. Yeah, puts you at in the lead on our bold prediction scoreboard with 4 correct bold predictions. Brennan, you said a sweep against Tucson. You talked about that earlier. Unfortunately, that did not happen. And TJ Tynan did not score. So that's a really quick double buzzer for you. Ezra, 2 goals from Gabe Landeskog this week. I
3.
believe he. Oh, you said 3?
No, I said 2, and I got it, but he had that third
Yeah.
one get taken away.
Yeah, exactly. Ding. He did get it. He should have had 3. I understand now. I understand. You also had Gavin Brindley outscoring Callum Ritchie in the head-to-head against the Islanders. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to buzz you, but it's kind of haphazard because neither guy had a point. So it wasn't like anyone won that matchup per se, and the Avs won the game. So there you go. And then I had the Avalanche, the Gabe Landeskog will have another disallowed goal. That's a ding. But I hit wrong, and I should have hit ding. There it is. That's the one I wanted. At this point, you just bet on it every week. Bet on it every night.
A double negative.
And I said that he just has to keep doing that as a sacrifice to continue winning, and that the Avalanche would win all 3 of the games last week, and indeed they did. So I got a 2 for this week, which is awesome. And an update on the standings are Jackie, of course, in the lead with 4. I'm in second along with Ezra with 3 points. Evan, you got your first one last week, and Brendan, you have 2. So let's see how that sorts out as the week continues. Now I'm going to roll our sponsor, and while I do, you folks think of your bold prediction this week.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I call that bold talk.
All right. This segment is called Bold Predictions. As you've probably noted by now, make your own in the chat, and we will be sure to give you a shout out. I believe we gave Vaguely a couple dings last week, so congrats, Vaguely. He has a new bold prediction this week. He says Ty Fellerberg gets the call up. I like it. We'll put that one down, Vaguely. And folks, I totally skipped the sponsor, but please head on over to Brews Ale House Brewing Company in Pueblo, Colorado, where you can find delicious beverages and food that they have available during Avalanche and Nuggets games with some fun specials while all of that goes on. So if you're in Pueblo, please head on over to Brews Ale House Brewing Company, as they are kind enough to sponsor this bold prediction segment. All right, let's go ladies first. Jackie, what you got?
Okay. We still have not seen enough scoring from the defense. So I'm calling for a goal from anyone not named Makar. I think on defense. I think Manson, Burns, and Malinsky each have 1. Taze still has 0. Sam obviously has 0. So is it bold enough to say one of them is going to score an actual goal?
I think so. I think it is, especially considering it feels like Burns is the closest right now, but every single one of his gets deflected. So it's always going to go to whatever forwards in front of the net, it feels like. Yeah, exactly. Or Nelson, apparently. Nelson cashed in on that against the Islanders. Okay, Jackie. So we're just going to do 1 this week unless somebody comes up with a really good twofer. So we'll stop there for you, Jackie, pending review. So go from anyone not named Makar on defense. Brendan, what about you? What do you got for me?
I'm going to stick with Tynan gets a goal.
Last week you said an even strength goal. You're just
it has goal. To be even strength. Yeah,
she added even strength. I'm just going for a freaking goal at this point.
Hey, I'm giving you all that special crap they do in the AHL. 3-on-3, 4-on-4. Even strength covers quite a bit.
9 of his 17 assists are on the power play. So
all right, how about this? If it's at even strength, Jackie loses a point. And Brandon gains a point. How's that sound to you, Jackie?
Yeah. +2, -2.
So if he wins, if he's right, but it's not even strength, well, I guess that's just punishing you for no reason.
Yeah, no, that doesn't
I was
work.
about to say, yeah.
Jack, you know what? -4 points for existing. How dare you? Okay, TJ Tynan goal. Hopefully at even strength, but you have him down for a goal otherwise, Brennan.
Just
Evan,
freaking goal. Come on, dude.
come on. Yeah, I looked up
But
his
that's
stats and
not
I was
even
like,
like
oh.
his like why would we even use the juju on him? Like that's not his game.
Because he has 17 points and none of them are a goal.
Look at his career stats. He doesn't
I
even
know,
clear 10.
but
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever gone this long without a goal.
Does he need
Jackie
a goal?
just hit
like,
you
for
with
what?
we wasted the good surprise on you, TJ Tynan. How dare you? Evan, what do you got for me this week?
Okay, hold on. I have a stipulation. Can I ask for a twofer? Because one, I missed last week when everyone made two, and two,
Yeah.
I'm gone next week anyway.
Oh boy. Deal.
I say
on
it's fine.
vacation.
That's fair.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
Okay,
it.
I appreciate it. I've thought
Just
of
don't
one.
take
I haven't
mine.
thought of another one, but my
Oh, great.
one so far is that I feel like we are due for a shutout by an Avalanche goaltender.
Oh,
That feels like a good week for that to happen against one of the three teams that's coming up. So I like that. As for a second one, man.
do you want me to circle back for you? Or are you
Yeah,
going
circle
for it?
back to me. Yeah, circle back.
I
to
do
me.
want to say I think I still have Makar for the power play goal. I think we talked about the home
You
stand.
did.
So I have one
You
more.
did.
So I do have the
You said
Rangers
through
game
Rangers. Yep.
for Makar to get the power play goal.
So
But
that'll be your second one that we'll carry into next week,
yeah.
Jackie. Okay. So Evan, a shutty. We'll circle back to you. Brandon, we're going to circle back to you for a second as well now. Ezra, let's get one from you.
Okay. Oh, are we all doing two now? Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
if we're all doing two, then you have to give me Makar power play for the whole week then. I just said but before it was just about the
Gotcha.
homestand. So
I'm the one that's in last place here and needs the points, Ezra. What are we doing?
Yeah, I thought this was just to give Evan an extra. But
that's,
No.
that's fine. If we're just giving Evan an extra, that's fine. I just wanted to say
No.
that Makar is still on the board for one more game.
yeah,
I
that was
like
the prediction
doing
last week.
I like doing two if you so choose. If you leave points on the board, that's up to you.
How could I not? Okay. All right. Let's do. I like the way Ross Colton was playing. I'm going to say he has a 3-point week.
Nice.
And for a second one, either McKinnon or Natchez is a top 3 star in the NHL for the week.
Oh, I like that.
The timing of things.
I like that. I love it.
Yeah, we'll try.
The poll question I was gonna talk about, but we're kind of running out of time, so I quickly switched to predictions. Was the who's had a better start, like I guess in comparison, kind of to expectation, and the choices were McKinnon, Wedgwood, Malinsky, and Makar, which is an interesting question. Got a lot of votes for Malinsky, so that's a happy thing. But McKinnon, it's hard to not choose him, even though he's done all this before. He's somehow getting better, which is crazy.
I think my answer would be Wedgwood. I think if you're saying relative to expectations, who's exceeded them the most, I think it's Wedgwood.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Okay, so those are two good ones for you. Ezra, Brennan, circling back for your second.
Middleton goal.
For the Avalanche?
He's only no. He's not getting called.
I like
up.
it. Okay.
Although I did have a very, very entertaining interview with him over the weekend, so it was actually kind of nice.
Nice.
Here's a spoiler. I was gonna say he might be one of my Eagles 3 stars of the month.
There you go.
Very nice.
He's only got one goal this year so far, so I say he's going to come out angry based on his interview against Tucson because it's a home-at-home series.
Is he angry because the Avs dumped him?
I think he's getting over it at this point.
Was he though?
That's what I hear.
I can believe it. I sympathize.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that like you can't even walk up to him and be like 6'7".
Brennan.
God dang it.
Brennan. I will leave this call. I won't even give my second prediction.
Hey, I have a 6-year-old who is walking around doing that
just
for
doing
no
this
reason.
all-
We'll just walk into the room and go 6-7.
The worst part is that our women's basketball team has won the last 2 games by a score of 67 to something.
Oh God! And the crowd goes wild. every time.
6-7.
Okay, hold on. Okay, my actual second bold prediction
Okay.
for a guy that is 3 numbers above 67, Sam Malinsky. I'm actually glad we brought him up because I was thinking about that anyway for a second bold prediction. I'll say he gets 2 points in this next week.
Love it.
Is that acceptable?
He's been so good, man. He's been great analytically too. Like there's not much to poke holes in his game right now, which has been an awesome surprise. And the Avs obviously need that depth with Gerard being on the mend and kind of sorting out that bottom pairing. And now
And
it just looks
no other
great.
D really scoring. I mean,
Yeah,
other than
exactly.
McCarr. McCarr just
Right.
doesn't even count when we say like the defense. Like McCarr's his own category.
He's a forward defender, if that makes any sense at all.
But the defense is not scoring enough. I
Yeah.
would say Malinsky is definitely at the higher end of that exception.
Well, I got yelled at for saying we need to have a conversation about Devon Tays, and I think he's been
I
good
still think it's fair.
defensively, but I do think we need to talk about that at some point. Where that offensive production has gone is a concern for me.
I mean, he has picked up some points lately, but yeah, it is interesting.
He used to do things where you were like, "Oh crap, man! Like you can't really give Taves space," and now it's like that doesn't even feel like a factor for him.
Is he getting old?
Could be depending too much on McCarr to do everything.
I don't
Or is
know.
Is he slowing down?
It might be the
He's
second
not the youngest guy ever.
No. And he doesn't carry a bag into work every day like Burns, so he might not be aging the same way.
He has 3 young kids. Maybe he's just exhausted.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just
Heard
going to his
that.
happy place.
Yeah.
Checks out a
All
little
right.
bit.
In his
Yeah.
defense, it doesn't look like he's trying to do things and it isn't working. He just is playing very conservative.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
And it could be that he's just he's playing smart hockey and he doesn't care about points. He's just wants to get the puck out of the zone. So
I'd
there you
say, I don't know. It's hard to reference analytics because when the team's over like 60, there's just no analysis there. But he's been at the lower end as well. I wouldn't say that he's just being amazing but not getting points. I think it's a fair topic, but then again, when they win every game, you can't really get into this stuff because there's no evidence, right? So like
Right.
everyone's fantastic and just keep being fantastic. But I do think when there is a dip, it's going to probably be a topic that'll be part of it.
I agree.
Well,
I
it's
agree.
because he's not playing with EJ anymore. And they're
I-
not 6-7.
I do think that if they really do ever get into a dip, that they should break up the
7
the
and
top
8.
pair. But
Yeah.
and then I don't do like Gen Beta or whatever we're at now culture. Like
Yeah, I don't either. I still say like that's tight, bro. Instead of like
you'll get there,
whatever it is.
You'll get there.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Trust
I'm
me,
sure my
you'll get there.
son will bring me into the fold.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Well, I got a couple of bold predictions myself. We didn't really touch on this, but we saw a couple fights last week. I believe Landeskog dropped him, and so did Manson with a nasty uppercut. I've never seen someone lose a fight faster than that fight. So my bold prediction is that we're going to see a fight in every game this week.
wow.
Yes. I think you see one against the Rangers because I think the Rangers are a desperate team. I think you see one against the Predators because I think the Avs will be blowing the doors off of them and they'll get annoyed. And I think you see one against the Blackhawks because I have them as a sneaky pick for a playoff team and a potential rival in the years to come if they do indeed realize their hopes and dreams of becoming a playoff team. Central Division, boys. We all remember, and girl, we all remember the rivalry between the Avs and the Blackhawks in the heyday of things. So that'd be kind of a cool thing to see return. And my second one is going to be very straightforward, but I think Gabe Landeskog is going to have
A disallowed goal.
Drum roll, please. A hat trick.
Gordy.
You heard it here first.
Oh, I was gonna
Nope,
say a
just
Gordy.
normal hat trick. He's gonna get one where he
Wow.
shoots it in. He's gonna have one go off his ass, and then
Empty
he's
net,
gonna get an empty
probably.
netter. Yep.
Then they'll give
That's
him the
how it's
empty
gonna go.
netter.
A hat trick of disallowed goals.
Well, we're
That's
stretching it to
definitely on
2.
that
I am
then
going to like reach through the screen and punch you, Evan.
Oh, and I can't because of the 6'7"? Okay. Swear to God.
Speaking of kids, though, vaguely brings up a good thing. Did you guys see the video of Gabe fighting his son on the ice after
was
the
very
night
cute.
after
Yes, that was
he
cute.
got in a fight? Super cute. Well, that's it for our bold predictions this week. And unless you folks have any other topics that you want to cover, I think that'll wrap up today's episode. Nothing? All right. Well, thank you folks so much. There's about 602 of you tuned in live. And by about 602, I mean there's exactly 602 of you tuned in live. We really appreciate you guys coming to watch the program. Please like, subscribe, and share with your fellow Avalanche fans. If you hit that alert button on YouTube, you will in particular get alerts every single time we are live. You'll never miss one of these episodes. If you should so happen to miss an episode, you can head to Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, among other preferred streaming platforms, and you will find our full catalog. Don't forget to head to the website milehighhockey.com. Don't forget to head over to hockeymountainhigh.com, where you can see Brendan Vogt and Evan Liu's work, and give every single one of these beautiful and esteemed colleagues of mine a follow on your preferred social media platform. On behalf of myself, Adrian Hernandez, Jackie K, Brendan Vogt, Ezra Parter, and Evan Liu, this has been the 120th edition of the Mile High Hockey Lab. And until next time, go Avs.
Thank you for tuning into the Mile High Hockey Lab.